Okay, so in chapter 1 again, they talk about science a bit in this chapter, and they mention theories and hypotheses and empirical observations or tests, right? Studies, research. So basically, a theory is sort of like an overarching explanation for what's going on, right? So a theory is kind of the general statement, let's say. And so it sort of organizes and explains observations and research findings, and it makes predictions, right? And for it to be a scientific theory, it has to make predictions that we can then test and see if the theory is supported or not. That's science. And so that's why some few areas of psychology may not be scientific, like the Freudian approach, humanistic psychology, because they really don't do that. They don't have these hypotheses that make predictions, and then you see if they come true. And if they don't come true, then you don't believe in the theory anymore. But a lot of those Freudian and humanistic theories, they always have a reason for why they're still right, even if it doesn't come out the way they thought it would. That's not scientific. So a theory, right, kind of the overarching thing. So you might have a theory like in, like observational learning, that human beings learn through observing others engage in behavior, right? So you might have a theory like that, a general theory. And it's going to make predictions. Well, that means if I watch somebody do something, then I should learn from that and my behavior should change, right? So the theory is kind of the overarching idea and a general prediction. From that theory, you're going to draw a more specific, a very specific, testable statement. And that is what we call a hypothesis, right? So a hypothesis is a very specific statement that then we can do a research study on, right? So a theory is usually pretty general. You learn through observation. A hypothesis is going to be very much more specific. If children watch an adult engage in aggressive behavior, then the children will become more aggressive themselves. That's a very specific statement that I could then do, I could test in a research study. So general theory, specific testable hypothesis, then you do the research. If that hypothesis is supported in the research, then that increases our confidence in the accuracy of the memory. However, if that hypothesis is disconfirmed in the research, that weakens our belief in that theory, and we have to go back and revisit, right? So it's a continual process of that in science, is ideally what we're supposed to be doing. So that's just a theory and a hypothesis, and then you do the empirical test on it. And of course, how that empirical test turns out then increases your belief in the theory or weakens your belief in that theory. Okay, so that's just a little bit on that.